All right, what's going on, family? Shalom. I pray y'all are doing well. Another blessed day that the Most High have made, and I'm rejoicing in being so glad in it. As we thank the Most High for so much, we thank Yahushua who hung, bled, and died, and thank all of you, my brothers and sisters, who make this page what it is with all the love and encouragement and different topics and things that we share with each other. We just thank the Most High for that. Title says, Real Talk with JT. What about the men who are not deadbeats? Oh, and I know this is a touchy subject. Well, first of all, I want to give hats off to all the men who are trying, who are working, who are doing all they can. And some men are just fed up because they're just tired of arguing. They're tired of the woman using the child against them, which happens a lot. Now, let's just be real, brothers and sisters out here. There are men who are really just deadbeats. They just no good in them. Don't want to work, just sorry. You name it. But all men are not in that category. So what about the men who work hard, who do work hard, and they just getting all the feedback, the negative, you name it, they going through. And I'm going to say something to the ladies that do this because, first of all, not all ladies do this. I know women who don't even have the baby daddy on child support, who just waiting to see and still waiting to see, is he going to step up and handle his responsibilities as a man? But then you got that cold-blooded woman who's angry, who's mad, frustrated, and she do everything in her power to keep that man from seeing his children. And until the woman, I'm talking about the women that do this now, don't take what I'm saying the wrong way, until that woman realizes that it's not about her in so many ways with her feelings. Because that little girl who wants her daddy, or that little boy who wants to see his daddy, that child, or we could say children, are hurting the most. This woman I used to work with, she didn't have no salary, baby daddy. He just got laid off. Good dude. But she was money hungry. And every time she would come to work, she would just complain, he ain't bringing enough. Because she was very materialistic. He doing all right, but I need more. And when she told me everything that he did, I said, this man ain't no deadbeat. What is wrong with you? Well, I just want more. The man had a 9-to-5. The man was cutting yards on the side. Everything he was cutting yards with and was doing good with that. Almost was ready to start his own business. He would give her all that. And the mistake that he would make, he would just keep giving her cash. And that woman just kept chopping him down with everything that he did. So I said, so what's the real issue? Come to find out, she still wanted to be with him. But she was so angry, she would use the child against him. He would make plans because it was his time to have the children on the weekend. And the little girl was crazy about her daddy. And she would always make up something. And he didn't want to put them folks in the business, but they was in it anyway. So as a man, he wasn't that he was being soft. He was just, Brother Earl, he was trying to keep the peace. Welcome on, Brother Earl. You've been there, brother. Man, I know some brothers I worked with back in the day, Brother Earl. They just didn't have no peace of mind. And they would say, Jay, she just continue to use my son against me. And the son got older, bro. That's the thing I don't think they think about, brother. Them children don't get older. And the question that comes is why? Again, I'm not talking about all women, of course, but the women that do this, they know who they are. Why did you keep my dad away from me? And the lies that she was feeding over and over again. Your daddy never wanted you. Your daddy gave you up. Your daddy was just sorry. Come to find out, she was just feeding that boy lies. He wound up hating his daddy for something his daddy never really done. And come to find out, Brother Earl, she was the one that cheated. But yet and still, this brother was still trying to beat her, but he got tired of fighting. See, this is why when I talk about when a lot of women get mad at me when I say I don't care nothing about Father's Day. You see what I'm saying? You say that's really what my son at. See, brother, that's hurtful. Bless your heart, brother. And big brother, I know that, man, ain't nothing easy about that. I've watched so many people I know close to me, even my brothers, man. When you hear this one word, when you hear this right here, baby mama drama. David Hollister did a song called Baby Mama Drama. And when I see the hurt on those children, and that question again, brother, why my dad didn't want me? See, some of these women are lying just like some men be lying. But some of these women have put together so many lies that they son or daughter have really believed it done fed into what mama done said, and mama was so angry. But you know what I love, brother? Another person I used to work with back in the day. You hear me say this a lot about people I used to work with, because I don't know why on these different jobs I was on, brother, I just felt like a counselor. People always say, man, you just so easy to talk to. And they would just tell me, man, but one particular time, this brother that was going through that, his woman, well, ex-girl, baby, let me just say baby mama, she came and apologized. Because she realized how good of a man he was. See, some women do come back and apologize. It ain't often, just like some men may come back and apologize. It's vice versa. But let's just deal with this part right here about the men who are not deadbeats. But once the lady realized that she was hurting her daughter more than anything, because the daughter always saw the mama, but always the question was, where's my daddy? Didn't tell her that she was doing all kind of stuff behind the scenes to really just destroy that man. But once she realized everything she did out of anger was hurting her daughter, and it took her running into another lady that was doing the same thing, but that the other lady had to tell her, she said, girl, it was all my fault. The man always tried. Though he ain't making what he was making, but he still was giving from his heart. He still, and one thing that brother was doing was spending a whole lot of time. He was making up that time, man. And that's the thing the daughter never forgot was that time. And I tell babies this all the time to this day. One thing I never forgot about growing up was the time that was spent with me. It ain't about so much of the buying this, the gifts get tore up. The clothes they gonna outgrow them. But that time and them toys gonna get broken or given away to somebody else's child. But that time that's spent with that child, the raising and the upbringing, the one who was there at the football game, the basketball game, the cheerleading practice, all the things that they're involved in, that's what the children really remember. And once that woman realized she was taking that little girl's only thing she wanted to do was see her daddy. That's all she wanted to do. And you don't realize the hurt that's going on when you keep pushing that man away, telling him things like, you ain't getting your daughter. See, I've seen women do this right here. See, and keep this in mind, you laid down with who you laid down with. And you didn't have a baby on your own, but a lot of ladies don't want to accept the fact that you chose that man. And some of y'all can say, I chose that man more than once. But it ain't always okay. Something wrong when it's just the man. Come on, y'all, work with me for a minute. But I've seen so many women make this saying right here. He don't need his daddy. But Earl said after she did all that, after 17 years, he found out all that was a lie. We have a father-son relationship now. He a lawyer and love me. Hallelujah, Brother Earl. See, Brother Earl, there is a happy ending, ain't it, brother? Even though it was a struggle. And that's the point I'm making, Brother Earl. A lot of women, mothers, they don't realize that in the long run, if that child don't want to forgive and they find out the truth, sometimes them children, when they get grown, they disown their mama. They disown their dad. And they don't see it at that point when they doing all what they doing. But then when the child hit 23, 24 years old, 25 years old, they ain't no child no more. You 26 now, you 28, you 30. Daddy, what really happened? Son, sit down. Let me tell you something that your mama ain't never told you before. See, your mama tried to make me just seem like I was the bad person all along. But your mama the one did that. Your mama did this. Your mama kept you away. Your mama did. And I didn't want the police. I mean, I was already going through this and going through all that. Son, I just tried to keep my peace of mind. I tried to just stay to myself. And it was just hurting me because I didn't want to just keep fighting. And then look what happened. They go back and confront their mama. Mama started trying to do them same lies. Hold on, mama. It's my time to talk. When you talk, mama, nah, mama, you had your turn to talk for all those years. You told me this and told me that. Now it's my time. And then sometimes the mothers can't handle that conversation. Well, mama, why did you do that? Well, I was angry. That ain't good enough. You was angry. Your anger kept me away from my daddy. Your anger made me miss so many years. My daddy paid all that child support and barely got me. See, the Most High never wanted none of this to happen, y'all. But we see what we are living in. And it's sad that a woman would use that child against that man. Now, the ones that are deadbeats, that's a whole other conversation, ain't it, Brother Earl? Because you got men out here that they just love having sex and love making babies, and they don't want to work, they don't want to do nothing. I'm not talking about them men in this particular video. I'm talking about the man that fights hard and works hard and doing all he can, but he's just simply tired of fighting with that woman. He's tired of the baby mama drama. And then, Brother Earl, what about the men who paid child support all those years just to find out that boy wasn't his? Just to find out that girl is not his. Now they got to get paid back. See, let me tell you something, ladies. It's some men out here that won't go get a DNA. They just, I don't know what it is. They just, that's my son. That's my daughter. Look at him. Look at him. That's my, and all along, sometime in the back of their mind, they be like, I wonder if they really mind. She was with old boy. She was with old boy, man. And I know we split up. And then in the back of their mind, sometimes I'm wondering, is that mine? But they still do what? Take care of their child. There are men out here who have raised children and they've never even got a DNA. But then a lot have. This is a very touchy subject, Brother Earl, and it goes on every day, Brother Earl. We know this. We see it all the time. And that's why I always talk about the men who never get credit. You say everything backfire on her now. He don't have the same thing. You saying I have to talk to him. You saying I have to talk to him, tell him you still have to pray for your mama, brother. That you right on point. Yeah. But the thing is, Brother, can your son find it in his heart to forgive her? And it may not happen overnight. But if he do forgive or already have, that's going to free him up. It ain't easy. Because you're talking about years and years of time that have went by. Because some men really, they don't want to fight. They be like, man, ain't nothing like having my peace of mind. And that peace of mind, Brother Earl, it's nothing like having a peace of mind without that drama. And that's why the Bible talks about that nagging and that type of woman that stirs up all that, you know. And you say he needs to, yeah. Good point, Brother Earl. But that's easier said than done. See, Brother Earl, I'm from the hood, and most cats out here grew up without their dad. Mama was mama. And that's why I always give hats off to the men in the hood who stepped up, whether it was the coach. I always say shout out to the ones that's older now, man. They're in their 80s. You know, they was there in elementary school. They was the principals. They was the coaches, the football coach. I mean, the track, you name it. You had men back then who stood like men, and they stood on business, and they was the father type figures for a lot of men. But then it's sad to say a lot of the young boys, man, didn't make it to see 30 years old. That discipline is missing. A lot of them didn't make 25. A lot of them didn't even finish high school. They died on the block. And it's sad to keep seeing the same pattern of so many young brothers dying on these streets, and they got 3 or 4 children left behind. See, some of these women love to choose a man that's headed to the grave. Boy, that's a title all by itself, Brother Earl. Women who love to choose men that's headed to the grave. I might need to do a part 2. And them the ones they lay with. Or if he not headed to the grave, they choosing the man that's headed to the penitentiary. And then he gonna wind up saying, I ain't there to raise my son. When you got 30 years, 25 to life, when you on death row, what can you do for a child? Our sons and daughters out here need us in their lives, man, day to day. This is why the Bible says, fathers, raise your children. This woman got mad at me the other day, Brother. She said, I really wish you would stop saying it in your videos. There ain't no fathers around. I said, what about the fathers that's around? She don't like when I say fathers raise your children. I said, if you don't like when I say fathers raise your children, then Miss Lady, you don't like the Bible when the Bible say fathers raise your children. Because all I'm doing is quote scripture. And then she didn't let me finish. I said, fathers, don't provoke your child to anger. How many times have that happened? It's a lot of times we see that when the Bible say don't provoke your child to anger. By you not being there, they already angry. Men get tired of the argument. You see this stuff so much and it's just heartbreaking. And then you said, I was raised by my grandparents. My dad was a woman chaser. I was headed the same way. I thank God he stopped me. What an awesome point to make, Brother Earl. What's going on, Brother Brian? Shout out to you. And so many men were raised by their grandparents. And I'm just going to be real with you, Brother Earl. My papa dead and gone now. If he was here, he would be 100 years old right now, but he died when he was 95. And Papa was a Rolling Stone. And wherever he laid his hat was his home. Honestly, Brother Earl, I don't know how many children my granddaddy had. We lost count. Because back in Papa was born in 1925. So you can imagine, Brother Earl, like he say, all the screwing he did, all the women he had, because back then it was just work and Crown Royal time. And I know my mama don't mind me saying it, we talk about this so much. Papa had women. Papa would get drunk. That was his thing. Get drunk, get laid. Every time my mama, which is my grandmother Elizabeth got pregnant, who was this woman over here getting pregnant next? And that pattern, Brother Earl, see, I got an uncle just like that. Pattern himself out to his daddy. That's the baby brother. I love him to death. And Oh, what you doing, brother? How old are you now? You in your 60s and you still want to live that lifestyle. See, brother Earl, it brings me to the next point. You got I just told my mama this on the phone today. I said, Mama, you got the man of the house, and then you got the man that's just in the house. Because just because you got a man at home don't mean you got a man at home. Ooh-wee. You might got a little boy at the house in a grown man body. And I mean that out of love with no disrespect. Everybody that's in the house ain't in the house. The man of the house and the man that's just walking around the house. You got women that they're saying, oh, be a man. What did I marry? What am I stuck with, Brother Brian? And then you got to realize, what is that type of man going to teach the children? Or if they pattern themselves, how many young men have patterned themselves out to laziness? Not working. Don't have no work history. Like I said, I can't relate with the generation, man. When I started seeing men living off of women, I never understood that. I can't relate to that. Because never in my life have I ever lived off a woman. Not once. Because I was taught at an early age. I watched what to do and I watched what not to do. And I always made sure I had my own crib. Because one thing for sure, Brother Brian, you wasn't going to make me, you wasn't going to kick me out of my own crib. And you sure wasn't going to make me go lay on the couch. My thing was, this is mine. Now you better get yours. But these young men that don't have nothing going for themselves, and I mean this out of love, looking for the next woman to just live off her, I can't relate to that. And I can't respect that. And I sure don't agree with that. Young men need to learn how to be a man. But then you got to realize what you watch growing up, you will turn into if you ain't careful. So what I used to do is watch all the negative stuff, and I use the negative for the good. Oh, see, I ain't going to be like that. When my children look at me, and shout out to my oldest daughter, Gabby. Gabby just turned 22 today. Shout out to you, Gabby, again. Gabby's 22 years old today. I told Dee Dee just this morning when we was at the grocery store, I said 22 years ago, a young little baby came into this world. Look how time flies. We grandparents now. And not only when my daughters look up to me, but when my grandbaby look up to me, I want her to see a man. I want her to see a man who loves her. I want her to see a man who provides, a man who is hugging on her grandmother, a man who is a father to his daddy to his children. I don't like to really use the term father because I got a heavenly father. But y'all know what I mean. And children need to see that. That's why they turn to the streets. Sister Sherry, welcome on. And yeah. Thank you, sister. Another blessed day for Gabby, 22. But when they don't have that example, Brother Earl, what are they looking at? The women on the strip club? Are they watching the hoes on the street? Maybe they can see a good church woman. And then when you go to church, you see a whole lot of mess. They're going to pattern themselves after somebody, the boys and the girls. That's why they need that balance. And that's why I'm saying all this to crash it in there together. When that child don't have that balance, that's hard. And that's why I did that video the other day saying these women were made different. The daughters of Zion was made different. Hey, welcome on, brothers and sisters. Who that just came in? Sister Audrey, welcome on, and left hand. That's daughter Zion, welcome on. They was built different because even though they may have a past, but their morals and their goals was totally different than what you see nowadays. And that's why I thank the Most High for real men like Jermaine coming on, Mr. Love coming on right there. Shalom to you. And I was just, when I just got through last year talking to his brother who's dead and gone, he lost his life on the streets. I think he left behind 5 children. I got a cousin that left behind, I think, 5 children. 6, if I'm not mistaken. My last conversations with them, that was my point I was trying to make. Your children need you. That's why I'm going to say this again about them women that do that. Once again, it's the women that do that. Once they realize it ain't about me, I'm hurting my child. But if that man is trying to get his baby, he done straighten up his life. And all you can say is your feelings and this and that, you hurting that child. And that child gonna look upside your head one day, and that truth gonna come out like Brother Earl went through, going through. And that's why I'm telling y'all, I know people like this. I know people like this. And it's sad. It's sad. You got some parents now who have gotten older, and they are now in nursing homes, and none of the children to go see them. You got some parents out here that really burnt their bridges, and their own children don't want nothing to do with them. You see, my granddad had me working 13. When I got in from school, I bought my first car at 13 for $300 from my cousin. I live on a farm. Yes, that's what they taught us, Brother Earl. Yes, I was working at 13, 14 years old, full-time jobs. We had summer job programs. Man, cutting yards, I mean, you name it, man. That's what's missing now. Hallelujah. I told my son, he just turned 9. I said, Jay, boy, you just don't know. I'm going to teach you how to drive early. And go ahead and email Miss Land and Demons. I got you. Yeah, I got you. And like what Brother Earl just said, they taught us responsibility at an early age. But then when you think about the Bible, Brother Earl, they was young. They was really young when they was learning a lot of stuff. They was young, but they was getting hold of life. And that's why I thank the Most High for the older generation. I know y'all hear me talk about the older generation a lot because that's where we got a lot of our wisdom from. Even though if they wasn't all the way right, a prayer. Man, you know how many conversations I got from that drunk man on the corner? He was drunk, but he still had wisdom. That was some of my best advice. All you gotta do is buy him a fifth, brothers, man. You buy him a fifth, he'll give you a whole life story. And then we also watch drugs take a lot of them out because a lot of them had their drunkenness, they had their drug problems, but the love that they had, it's just them addictions took them out. And that's why I learned not to, man, don't you get high like that, brother. They will tell you, don't you do what I'm doing, little Jermaine. You be better than me. I'm probably gonna die soon, you know what I'm saying, young buck. But you go in that store and you give me another fifth, and I'll tell you a little bit more about life. I'm probably gonna die this way. But that's the part that got me when they would say, I'm probably gonna die this way. And the part of me says, I don't want to die this way. And I think I do I believe I want to be better than you. I'm looking at you. I don't want to die on the streets. See, you got to learn how to take that negative stuff you see and make it positive and say, I ain't going to be like that. Especially as being a musician. Mostly every musician, it was the drugs and the women. I don't want to be like that. I don't want to, even in the big time music field, look at how many of them OD'd on drugs. They overdosed. Look at how many of them they had all that talent, but they couldn't stop the cocaine. Some of them died from the cocaine took them out. The crack took them out. Cocaine destroyed so many communities. And then look when the child is right there. They grow up watching. Next thing you know, is that little John in there sniffing? Oh, I watch my old man do it. Dr. Zion said a lot of our elders didn't have the best education. Heard was you on the phone with me earlier. They didn't have the best education, Dr. Zion, but they had some of the greatest wisdom and common sense. My dad used to say, keep on living. Nothing teaches you better than life. Hallelujah. That was, you always know it. I remember my grandmother one time, she said, because see, my dad's dad, Mama Masa didn't know how to read. And I remember when I was little, grandmother said, just because a toilet don't have a sign on it, don't mean I don't know how to use it. And the faith that they had. See, shout out to D-Wade. Me and D-Wade and Brother Amos had a long conversation yesterday about the older generation, daughter of Zion. And I expressed with them about how my daddy right now says that, son, y'all bolder than us. He said, but the problem with the younger and even the generations under me, they bold, like I told D-Wade and Amos on the phone. They bold, they ain't scared to die. Man, they'll die for the streets, but they bold, but they weak spiritually. Ooh, teach Holy Spirit. I thought about all the drive-bys, all the murder, all the black-on-black crime. How many of them been lowered into the ground? And I said, I just wonder if all that killing and murder and wasted energy and wasted talent and gifts, if all that would have been put to our kingdom building, if we knew who we were and what we were, would we have done it different? Ain't no way I can look at my brother Jermaine want to end his life because he stepped on my shoes in the club. Ain't no way I can look at my big brother Earl Jackson and hate on my brother Earl when brother Earl is giving me the wisdom. And brother Earl done been through some stuff I ain't been through. And brother Earl can say, Jake, let me show you this. Jake, let me teach you that. See, wouldn't it be a beautiful thing if the older generation and the younger generation could really put aside the differences and get along? Because we need each other. I wouldn't dare say I don't need my older generation. Like I hear these young folks that I know, man, them old folks don't know nothing. Man, they time is up. Why them old folks are smart. They may choose to, like Daughter Zion just said, they may choose to do certain things that we don't agree with. But let me tell you something, my best conversations was on that porch. Especially if you're in the country. I was a young man sitting on the porch with an old woman that we call Momo. And Mom, I used to think Momo was such a mean person. Everybody knew, oh man, Kenneth grandma. Shout out to my man Kenneth. K Ray, love you, man. My best friend growing up, one of my best friends. And everybody was saying, man, don't you go. Momo gonna run you out that yard. Momo just didn't play. Momo was very wise. Momo wouldn't even take a ride to the store. She would walk all the way to that grocery store and come back with them groceries in her hand. Come on in this house, baby. Once I got to know her, because see, I didn't have no grandmas left. My last grandma passed in 1996. And when I had Momo, I looked at Momo like she was my grandmother. Strong. And she wasn't just a little woman. And Grandma Momo, she walked everywhere, Brother Jermaine. Everywhere. And she ain't take no mess. Let me tell you something, bro. We had some hood. It was gangsta out here. But if you came down Prosper Street, you had respect for Momo. Momo didn't care how many bodies you done put on your gun. Momo didn't care how tall you was. Momo didn't care how bad you thought you was. Momo, you better get out of my yard. Hey, Momo, I don't care who it is. That's what I miss about nowadays. That's why I was saying in that video, them women that's built like that. I was talking about Timothy and his mother and grandmother, Lois and Eunice. And I don't know what happened with Timothy daddy in the Bible, but the Bible say he was, in other words, he was like a heathen. He wasn't there for Timothy. But Paul said, but the faith that your I see the faith, boy, I see something in you, young man. And that's how I am when I see the young man. I say, young brother, even when they be on them streets, I try to tell them, man, you got a lot to live for, man. No, I don't. When you ask a lot of them youngsters, man, what you want to be in life or what you want to do, man, I'll probably be dead before I'm 20. That's sad. Man, I don't know. Man, I don't care, brother. Right now, I'm just hustling. I'm trying to go score. I'm trying to go flip. You want to take me to go score? For those from the hood, y'all know what go score mean and flipping it. And so many young men. You know, Brother Jermaine, I think I got this. Who did I get it off of? Oh, I got this off of Dr. Myles Munroe. I know many of y'all have heard me say this before, and I always give credit to Dr. Myles Munroe because he was the first one I heard say that years ago. But Dr. Myles Munroe, he died in a plane crash, y'all. Sad. But he got some powerful teachings also. But Myles Munroe said the graveyard is one of the wealthiest places in the world. And when I first heard that, I said, what do you mean by that? And then I thought about it. And as he kept talking, he said that graveyard down there at the end of that corner is one of the wealthiest places in the world because he said, you know how many people died and you don't know what they was going to be. You don't know what they was put in the ground, how many millions and trillions and billions, but they dead. I said, wow. I never thought about that. So every time I see a graveyard, Dr. Zion, I think of what Dr. Myles Munroe said. Because then I think about my kinfolks who died real young, what they would have been. And only the Most High know how they was going to turn out. And it's sad that lives, like the Bible says about the youth that die young, because they make their bed hard by being disobedient. He say that the youth die young, and we'll say gone too soon. Because like I tell these brothers on the streets, see, I run into a lot of classmates. I think the most top are the ones that still left around because a lot of them are dead and gone. When I see my brothers dead at 51, 52, 53, 48, 49, 47, 33, 23, it's sad. Women who died, she was only 30. 27. What happened to her, man? You don't even want to know. That's why Facebook had got so dangerous back then. Facebook, everybody started beefing and meet me at such and such. People dying off Facebook. Yes, it did. And Dr. Zion, it tore this community up over here. When that crack hit, I remember just walking in the neighborhood wasn't even clean no more. Every time I walk, Dr. Zion, I go crack bags. Some of them still got crumbs in them. Just like that scene on New Jack City. When them kids was playing at their little park. When them children was playing at their little park. And Ice-T was looking at their ground. They was just running all through the crack bags and the needles. My elementary school was like that. My elementary school was like that. Needles out there in the field. Don't you know them? A child can pick up that needle and stick it in their arm, and you know what's going to happen. You will see brothers sell dope to their own mamas. And that's why I'm throwing all this in together because, see, some men had a rough start, but now they got all that behind them. And though they have had these babies, they trying to be there, but the woman want to keep reminding them. But that ain't no deadbeat dude right there. So to those who watching, this is talking about the men who are not deadbeats. And the women that do them like that. Not all women. You got women that they try their best to Just wait on that man to do the right thing. And then that's when you got a deadbeat ain't gonna do nothing. But then they move on with their life. And they're going to think they give me, they're going to start up a whole nother family. And end up taking care of that family. You know how many men who are grown now, they mad, still angry and holding in Brother Jermaine because they daddy didn't raise them, but they daddy snuck off and got another woman pregnant, but they raised that child, but didn't raise that one that head first. And then the thing they give me, you come back, trying to come back in their life, and then you want respect like you earned it. So yes, it's a lot of frustration. It's a lot of anger. So I just wanted to share that with y'all on this blessed night. Glad to see y'all, man. I told Brother Amos and Brother D, I'm gonna try my best to start back doing some of these live chats. And I just, man, I thank the Most High that we was able to save the shed, man. Y'all know I'm sitting off in the shed right now, away from the house. It's quiet. It's I've been missing it, man, because the flow caved in. It set a brother back, but you know, hey, I tell people this is my sanctuary right here. And Brother Amos and Brother D-Way again, man. Thank y'all for that conversation yesterday. Man, y'all just don't know. Thank y'all for praying for me. Mama Yaya, thank you for calling me back and praying for me. Sister Amber, we missed each other again, but I know you watching. Love you, sister. We're gonna connect on that phone. That's why I love those little voice texts that we send to each other. Because I know we all get busy. We ain't all in the same location. But Brother Jermaine, I gotta get back with you too, man. Love you, brother. Everything that you do, man, I don't take it lightly. Thank you, man. Thank you, ladies, and thank you, brothers and sisters, everybody, because what you do on her is not taken lightly. That's why I'm always saying thank you. You know, all right, Brother Jay, you said, okay, hold on, I missed that one. That was on. You said some women mad because relationships fail and hold children hostage. Not letting them see their dads and bad talking them in front of. That part right there, I just can't stand that dogs on when they talk bad in front of them. That's just feeding all that mess into their child's, you know, mindset. Well, yeah, I pray that too, Brother Jermaine. And then that was on. You came back and said, my daddy told me long ago, I know that man hurt you bad, but don't talk about him bad in front of those children. They will learn on their own. Yes. And I know that sometimes, daughters on, that's easier said than done, but he is so right. He's so right. And that's the worst thing you can do too, is just down them in front of them. And nothing I hate to see too, daughters on, since you brought that part up. I see it all the time when I'm in Walmart or different stores. I hate to see when a single woman, mama, is in them stores and the child is acting bad, and they cuss that child out in front of the whole store. And then it's the one thing they give me. You're going to be just like your damn daddy. I hate to hear that. Your dad is sorry. Your dad ain't no good. And they could be telling the truth, but why say that in front of the baby? That's why I say hats off to the real daddies out here who, and like Brother Earl just said, when we were talking about granddaddies, man, when you had a strong daddy, a strong granddaddy, and then like you say, you was raised by your grandparents. Many men I know was raised by their grandparents because the parents were strung out. They were strung out on dope. Some died, you know, and some babies came out, crack babies, like I think Dr. Zion just said, when that crack took over in them 80s, man, it flooded these neighborhoods. 80s, oh yes. And in 90s, man, by the time 1990 hit, it was so much death. Robbing, jacking, stealing, cocaine, and crack. I mean, you name it. Now look at your drugs now, dog. You got something coming out, man. They keep on coming out with stuff. Doing, oh man, the weed ain't never done. Well, you better be careful what you passing around now. You talking about hit this with me. What you got in it? That's why I mess with him on the block. What you talking about? You done hit that thing, now you over there foaming at the mouth. You better go on with it. Smoking behind each other like they was doing back in them 70s. You can Had, oh man, the weed, the kidding thing you got, that's when weed was weed. And I ain't encouraging nobody to smoke. I'm making a fact. You don't know what you're getting into now when you play pass the blunt, youngster. Man, probably got something on his lip just, man. And the moral of this story, leave it alone. Look out, child of God, 773. Shout out to you. But like you say, Dr. Zion, no self-control. And that's a great point, because that's one thing the Most High told us to have, was that self-control. And your behavior shows a lot about you. There's a song, I think that was by the Barcades back in the day, Attitudes. And when that song say your attitude, that's what describes you. That part right there alone, just, it should make you say, how's my attitude with people? Do I have a bad attitude? How's my temper? Do I snap fast like my old man? Do I snap fast like my mama? Do I have the attitude of my granny? Do I have the patience? Do I have the faith? What do I have? Why is my behavior so bad? Or is my behavior all right? Or some of us can say now, I like where my behavior is at now, because 30 years ago, man, everybody would have got cussed out. 20 years ago, I wouldn't have been doing what I'm doing. 50 years ago, some of my older generation, no, but I'd have been fighting and this and that. But that's the whole point of renewing our mind. And then this part right here, being born again. Hallelujah. Hallelujah right now. So I thank the Most High for the men who stepped up in our lives and just took over, man. And you don't never forget them type of men, like Dr. Zion was saying about her dad. You don't forget that. You don't forget it. And then so many men are missing out on the opportunity of their child. Yeah, their child was in. I remember a long time ago, I did a video about stepdads. And I'll never forget this comment. This dude said, any man that raised another man's child is a simp. He's a simp. And I don't have no respect for him. And then I always thought about this. Children don't ask to be here. And then that same dude that left that comment, when he read about Shaquille O'Neal's story, he had a whole new outlook on life. Because anybody that knows Shaq and what happened with Shaq, biological father, and the man that raised Shaq who passed away, Shaq was full of anger. Shaquille O'Neal had a lot of anger in his heart. He even rapped about it. But he forgave and he made peace with his real daddy. But the man that raised Shaq, that was a man. That man loved his mother. And I remember that dude leaving that comment, then he came in and said, man, you know what, man? I wish I had a stepchild that was rich. See, I said, you all about money. That's it. And it's so many men that's like that. Now you want to come into your son's life because you found out, oh, he got money. That's sad. Well, you should have been there from day one. But then it goes back to what I was saying the other day about babies having babies. Because this video kind of ties in with the young lady. Well, a young man, I mean, who, hit me up in the email about, man, can I really forgive my mom? I was pregnant. She was pregnant, had me when she was 13. And I said, that's a baby having a baby. You can't expect your mama to make a grown woman decision when she's only 13. She's just a baby herself. She's still, man, come on, 13, 14 years old. And remember how many young women got pregnant at that age and then some got raped like that. And now that she's older and wiser, and son, I didn't know what I was doing. Or how many men ran out like that. I was a child myself. Kind of remind me of an episode of Good Times when it was James' birthday, to those who watch Good Times. And I think Thelma went out and found James' daddy. James' daddy had been off the scene a long time ago. And she said, surprise, they brought him home. And James had to look that man in his face, Brother Jermaine. Because see, when a man hurts, We always hear about when women hurt too. But what about when a man hurts and he's been going 30 years with that pain right here of missing his daddy? 20 years. But James made peace with him at the end. And he called James Jimmy. My Jimmy. And you sure have grown over the years. You know, James with his sense of humor, man. What he says is that's what you do. You grow. It's been, what, 30 years? But look at Thelma, still want to know who her granddaddy was. You say you're a walking 1970 black TV camera. I ain't gonna lie, Donald Zion. I missed them, so I still watch them on YouTube. But yes, when you start talking about the what's happening now, you know, the that's my mama, the good times. I mean, yes, the Cosby's, because you know what I think about them a lot, Donald Zion. We don't have no more positive shows, Donald Zion. Let me ask you a question, Donald Zion. Somebody sent me this on Facebook right before I came on. It was a picture of Carl Winslow from Family Matters, James Evans on Good Time, Uncle Phil from Fresh Prince, and the last one was Bill Cosby. I want to ask y'all this question to those who know all those shows, brothers and man. I know you know, family that's watching. So let's look at them four men. Because James Evans, yeah. Bill Cosby, Uncle Phil, and Carl Winslow. So the question was, they sent me the picture, and the question was, in this time right now, in this generation, the question was, which four of those men would you pick to fit with this generation right now? Mine, hands down, was James Evans, because more men that I know are from the hood. Not saying that none of them could have got the job done better than James. My pick would have been James, because James was from the ghetto. Now, if I would have had to go with a more wealthy upbringing, I would go with the Cosbys. But I just want to know y'all feedback on that. Mine would have been hands down James Evans. and because the way James handled them boys, and look at the time Michael brought that boy home and James whooped him too. And he said, my son would have got away worse than that. I held back on you, mister. Even though James was not a spiritual man, he wasn't religious. James was a hard-working man, but James still knew how to keep that family together. That was how I said Carl Winslow was soft. Okay, Donald Zion, I got you. Even though he was a police officer. But what about that episode, Donald Zion, when Carl Winslow stood up to that other police officer that was racist? I don't know if I would say he was soft. He just had a different approach. But Bill Cosby definitely would have been my pick, because I'm looking at the reason why I picked James again, because I'm just reflecting back on all the young men I know who didn't have a daddy, and they from the streets, they from the hood, and it takes somebody from the hood to understand the hood, you know. But I do know what you mean, Dog Line. But one thing I did like about all these shows is that they show a positive black family that you don't see that nowadays. Yeah, let Donald Zion be, man, she be going in, Brother Jay. She be going in. My uncle would say, Donald Zion, he bought as soft as Velveeta cheese on Texas toast. But look at him. He loved his wife. He went to work. They had mama in the house. They raised them children. They stuck together. All of them men did stay at home. You know, that's the thing I look at too. You never seen James cheat on Flo. You see what I'm saying? I ain't never seen. Yeah, you know, James had a few episodes like when they went in that cabin. You know, he could have had a little chance. What was that, Miss September, Miss November? Lord have mercy. You know, James was Lord have mercy. But James was a faithful man. James was a working man with a sixth grade education. But we thank the Most High for the men and women in this life, especially the ones who are still here, and even the ones that passed on, man. We thank the ones that just really poured their heart out That's why I always tell y'all, man, I came up rough, man. I come from a cussing background, a cussing family. I come from the hood. That's why I knew. I said when I started, man, getting in this man, I'm like, I told him most time, man, you know how many people I'm gonna cuss out, starting with the preacher on down. But the Most High changed my vocabulary, changed me in a way that I never thought I could be changed. But don't tempt me though. Oh, that's my favorite episode right there, Sherry. Mad Dog. And when Mad Dog put them fingers in the flow face, Mad Dog, if you don't get your finger out of my wife's face, I'm gonna slap a muzzle on you. Boy, man, James didn't play by this family. Mm-hmm. And you know what I love about that episode, Sherry? James had a change talk. He really wanted to rein Mad Dog neck. But look at it as a father, as a dad, let me say it like that. James started feeling sorry because that one scene changed James' whole outlook, because when Mad Dog Mama slapped the mess out of him in that court, outside that courtroom, James had front row seat. But if you listen to what Mad Dog said, his daddy ran out. So he didn't have no daddy. And he had little brothers up under him. And when James saw that scene right there, and he said, Florida, how can I feel sorry for a man that shot my son? What kind of father am I? Mm-mm. That did it right there, Sherry. That did it for me when I was watching it, Daughter of Zion. That scene right there, if I watch it right now, I'm going to still get teary-eyed, man, because, man, it's just so much truth in that. And that's why they started taking off all the shows that had truth. See, now everything that come on now, black man got to be gay. He got to be a dope dealer. He got to be a thug. It's just sad. Everything that come on, it pretty much be having the same plot. There come another movie. Oh man, what's the plot? Old boy dope dealer pushing that weight, man. But he got a club. It's how many times have we seen movies like that? Yeah, he was about that business. Oh yeah, he was. He was. And back then, they would say it take a village to raise a child. Even to those who used to watch That's My Mama. Man, look at how strong that mama was. Who used to watch that? If you remember the show, That's My Mama. And even when I used to watch What's Happening, man, with Raj and rerun, Fred Berry passed away, we know. But, man, I say his fans too tight up. Woo! Thank you, Donald Z. I needed this laugh tonight, and you so right, boy. You so right. Oh my goodness, you got me over here crying on that one, boy. You said you had a crush on Clifton Davis. Man, what that dude a good actor, man. He kept that fro clean, didn't he? Yeah. How many of y'all used to watch Amen with Sherman, the one from that was another one, the Jeffersons. You never saw another show like the Jeffersons, man. Well, we're moving on up. She say, fine as frog legs. Girl, you something else. Yeah. So let me ask you this, Daughter Line. Was he more better than the Billy D. Williams? Sherry said, Amen was my show. Yes, man. You talking about some old shows, you know. And that's why I like to refer to those shows, man, that you still had the men in. Because like I say, you look at movies and shows now, look at what they're doing, portraying a black woman as, if you want to use the term black woman. They don't show no good with the heart of the man or the woman in our race of people, man. And what they do, they make a kid enough of it. I'm not no hater, y'all, by a long shot. I'm just saying my problem is we don't never see her to anything positive anymore. Oh, Jim Kelly, okay. Black Belt Jones, okay. I got you, Daughter Zion. You going all the way. You going all the way back now, man. But them shows had a lot of You say don't leave out sampling, son. Sherry, how old was Lamont? Lamont was about 30 years old. Still didn't have with his daddy back then. He had to be at least 31, 32 years old, when he was 35. But yeah, Sanford and Son, that was another. That's another. That fit well with this topic. But look at how many times they kept getting into it, though. That grown man really needed to be out that house. But he was 32, okay. I think, did he just pass away or he's still alive? I think his real name is Desmond, something like that. But yeah. That old Red Fox boy, he didn't play either. He was something else. He was big dummy. And old Aunt Esther. My favorite on that share was old Grady, though, and Bubble. But Grady was funny to me. Okay, he did just pass Brother Jay. Okay. Yeah, Demond, I said Desmond. Okay, Demond. He just passed away. Yeah. Wow. Well, I'm gonna tell y'all good news too, and thank y'all again for praying for Sister V. Her husband, he came to and opened his eyes today. He knew who she was, and he started breathing on his own. Man. Yeah, watch it, sucker. That's a good one, Daughter Zion. You old fish-eyed fool. Or the one when she said, you old heathen. I didn't know she was that funny, Daughter Zion, until I had saw her stand up. But yeah, it's some shows back then, man, that showed and portrayed our black man real good, man. Strong. And that's what's missing nowadays, man. That's what's missing nowadays. Yeah. That's right. Yeah, she hit me up earlier, Daughter Zion. He opened. This ain't the first time he tried to open his eyes, but the thing that he recognized who she was, man, that is a miracle. Because for those that don't know, he was bleeding in his brain, and he's been in a coma, and they had him on life support. So just to hear that part right there, it's amazing. And that's what I was telling Mama Yaya on the phone. I said that's why when I look at our women on her who had to bury their husband or cremate their husband, they know who they are. I said I'm always praying for the widow women on here, and they just keep pushing. And I love that about the ladies, in spite of what's going on in their life, and Mama Yaya, she just hit me hard the other day because she lost her husband, man, and she said sometimes I don't know. Not I don't know what to do. It's just what's next. I said I can feel you with that because even in our own lives right now, sometimes we want to know what's next for us, Father. What's next? You know. So family, I got to get ready to get out of here, man. Look out, Steve. Look out, big brother. Man, it's just we just got to continue to keep pressing on. Like I say, my oldest daughter turned 22 today. She's 22 and she's just so hyped up today. And I said, you know how many folks didn't even turn 22? I said, so I don't call them birthdays. I call them blessed days. Y'all know that. And I said, give them the glory. You know, I was talking to a brother last week about, you know, some of these children in college, man, that committed suicide, you know, and even they're 22, man, I say give them the glory, man, because some didn't even make 22. Some, man, took themselves out of 17, you know. Oh, Fred Williamson, yeah, come on, the hammer. If you're gonna say Fred Williamson, you might as well throw Richard Roundtree out there too, left-handed. You going all the way in now, boy. You talking all my show now. Come on. How many of y'all watch Shaft? Yeah. But Dolomite. My baby brother got a picture, not my baby brother, my oldest brother got a picture with Dolomite. You know, when he was younger, my old man knew Dolomite. My old man knew quite a few of these people that was kind of famous. He met Al Jarreau. That's why I told y'all this story. That's who I'm named after. My daddy was so crazy about Al Jarreau, the singer. You know, we lost him a while back too. But he named me after Al Jarreau. And my twin brother was named after Jermaine Jackson. So that's why they say Jerome and Jermaine, we the twins of the family. We the only twins in the family. So I was actually named after old Al Jerome. One day I'm gonna try to get my old man on here to tell that story. How he said I called for my sons to come, and I already knew every last one of them was gonna be involved and know how to play music, and every last one of us know how to play music. But it take him telling this story, you know. Way down in the jungle deep. Come on, Dawg Design. Signified line stepped on the monkey's feet. What does that monkey say? Hey, no, I ain't gonna say that, Dawg Design. Stop it. You on my feet. Man, I used to watch Dolomite all the time, man. Yes, I'm divine and guaranteed to blow your mind, and I ain't lying. Dawg Design, I had to start watching a lot of stuff, man. I started talking like that, man, in them 70s. Because, you know, in them 70s, man, they had that cool language. Cool it, mama. You try that now, man. Where'd you get that mess from, man? Just like when Michael John White did the movie, what's the name of that movie? Black Dynamite. If you look at Black Dynamite, it's marking a lot of the old 70s flicks, man. And he got that dude in there named Bullhorn. And you know, that's how they talked back then. They would rhyme. Now, he came around here about a week ago with a couple of cats I ain't never seen before. And they was mean, fighting like two fat mans over pork chops and greens. Can you dig it? You know, back then they always say, can you dig it? And when my Uncle Jerry was alive, man, when they had the band playing in the garage, and I grew up in them bands, man, just all the 70s music, the Motowns, and man, that was an era, man. I don't think we'll ever see it. Well, we ain't gonna see that again. But I just always say it for me, and when I be saying for me, times was better for me, man, growing up back then in them time, man, versus everything. Just it's too much technology now. You know, musicians had to play back then. You had to play instruments. You had to sing. You had to know what you was doing back then. You know, even though it was still a bunch of mess on the scene. Now that's who I was crazy about right there, Dawg Design. Foxy Brown, that doggone Pam Grier. When that's what messed me up when I first seen when Pam Grier took her stuff off. I wasn't no good. I said I had that vision. I said, Father, deliver me, Brother Jermaine, because I every time I see Pam Grier, I be wondering if she gonna take it off. That stuff messed us up. Sheba, baby boy, it messed us up. It messed us up back then, boy. Look at Jermaine talking about Pam. Got yeah, man. But like you say, Sherry, it was wonderful back then. I love these type of conversations. I didn't know the end of this live chat like that. We was talking about we was talking about what was we talking about earlier? Me and somebody, because when I did that video talking about the flow model, when we had that Curtis Matthews, man, that 27-inch flow model lasted a long time. And I remember when it finally went out in that living room, man, I was sad. But we didn't have about 5 channels. You know, that's why I made that joke in the video. Say, man, don't walk to the kitchen right now. You know, when you walk by, you're gonna mess up the picture. And now somebody gotta go over there and move the rabbit ears, or somebody gotta go move that farm or that hanger. Man, we made some antennas on them TVs, man. Now TVs don't even come with antennas, even antenna jack on them now. That's why I say about the technology now, man. The old record players, man, the old 8-tracks. We used to go out there scratching, man. Grandma had she had a long, I don't even know what you call that thing. Dawg Design, I think I went back and left you a comment when I said don't leave out the china cabinet. I said I messed with my mama just 2 days ago. I said, Mom, whatever happened to that china cabinet that you had? And I said, have you ever seen somebody put a china cabinet together? My mama said, I ain't never thought about that. And my mom in her 70s. She said, I ain't never seen no man put a china cabinet together. They was just there with it, and then you put them dishes in there. And you didn't eat off them dishes until it was a holiday. But I said, I've never seen nobody put a china cabinet together. And some people still have them in their houses right now. But some people, if you went over their house and it was Thanksgiving, they may say, go on, pull out the china. And that was the only time you was going to use. And the rest of the year, Them things stayed in there. But most people I know, they wouldn't let you eat off that. You wasn't finna open up that china cabinet. You know. You say we had a small TV on top of the big one that didn't work. One for the sound and one for the picture. Every house I went over Daughter Zion pretty much was like that. And you ask, what's wrong with the big TV? Oh man, that TV was out 5 years ago. Man, I think you said that comment. You had the flow model TV, you had the phone that hung on the wall. You be all the way around the corner, wrapping that cord up, talking, and don't let somebody go on the other end of the phone and try to sneak and pick it up. You hear that click, get off that phone. I know y'all on there. Man, them days is over in so many ways, man. Look at the phones now. John Zion said China camera. That's why I did that video this morning. I was reminiscing, man. I said, man, them 70s and 80s, man, even 60s, 70s, and 80s. Some of my people on here that was born in the 50s. Man, Sherry, you wake up sweating with that cast that got that plastic on there. You might, if you're gonna say the plastic, you might well go on back and bring out the Jerry curls too. That Jerry curl juice laying on them couches. Yeah, tell you, don't put a towel behind his head. Boy, it was something else, man. That's why I missed them grandmothers, man. I missed them. Seemed like even the streets was so much cleaner back then. Yeah. Follow the drip. Come on, Daughter Zion. Half 41, Robin Harris. I'm with you, sister. That was one of my favorite comedians. Baby Kids. Boy, you better commit no crime. Follow the drip. And Robin Harris was something else, boy. Robin Harris the one made me laugh when he said it's a job looking for a job. Brother, you got to spread change. You can tell Daughter Zion I still watch all that stuff. It's too fresh on my mind. But if you knew Robin Harris, and you know what, Daughter Zion, I thought Robin Harris was so old, and I believe he died of a heart attack. But I didn't know Robin Harris was what was he, 38 when he passed? Or was he 40? That just blew my mind. But that comedian lady, Lunea, she said Robin just really didn't take care of herself at all. Messed up a lot of pillowcases with that curl activator. Yeah. Jerry curl juice. Yeah, I think he was 38, Sherry. Yeah, that's sad to say though, dogs on that cocaine, yeah. But Robin Harris, he didn't even make 40. It's two people that stick out for me. And when I first saw Bernie Mac years ago, Bernie Mac kind of reminded me of Robin Harris because you got some comedians that's very original. It's like you can't make another Bernie Mac, you know. And Robin Harris, we don't die, we multiply. When he came out with the Baby Kids, man, yeah, John Belushi. Oh, Daughter Zion, you gonna go there? You might well go to the Blues Brothers. What was them Blues Brothers' name? Boy, I'm talking about the old Blues Brothers, the first one that came out with that old beat up car. With that John Belushi, yeah. I think that was John Belushi off of that. What was my other boy? Jake and Elroy. There we go. Jake and Elroy. Correct me if I'm wrong on that one, D. Yeah, Elroy. Okay, we on the same page. My old man was crazy about the Blues Brothers. I can't tell you how many times we watched that movie. Then they came out with the other one. But that first one, boy, if we gonna go there, Daughter Zion, before I get out of here, I got to go back to Car Wash with Richard Pryor. And that's when Bill Duke was. Is Bill Duke still living? Bill Duke, if Bill Duke still living, he got to be in his 80s. But Bill Duke was very young on Car Wash. But Car Wash is a classic to me. Because Richard Pryor played Daddy Rich. He played that crooked preacher in there. See, them the movies my old man was crazy about. The car washes and of course the old westerns, the Lucas McCain and the Gunsmoke and all that stuff. But he is in his 80s, okay. Yeah, the Pointer Sisters. You got to believe in something. Why not believe in me? But Bill Duke is another powerful producer, actor, man. Bill Duke been in the game a long time. He played that part in that movie. You want something, man? Bill Duke was just always, to me, one of the coldest to do it. It's a lot of A lot of actors out there, men and women, it just seemed like they never got credit, man, the way they needed. You saw it at the theater when you was a child, yeah, Brother Jay. Yeah, yeah. Car wash was hitting hard back then, man. And then they started putting it on. We had to be VCR with the tape too, man. But I can't tell you how many times I watched. Brother Jermaine, what about old boy, man, that kept trying to get on the phone, man, and take old girl out, man. He finally got it, didn't he? But then what happened? Brother had that fro. What was his name in the movie? Was it Fly Man or something like that? Oh man. Yeah, Rolls Royce. That song was jamming, Brother Earl. Man, thank y'all for this throwback here, boy. I'll tell you. Yeah, the Fly. There we go. That boy was crazy about that girl. Fly, yeah. You live through a daughter's eye, and it's a blessing. You still here. That's why I say, man, 70s and 80s. Oh my goodness, man. Early 80s. But like you made a good point, daughter's eye. When that crack, man, when that dope hit the scene, it ended so many lives and communities, man. I want to get next to you. There it is. Yep, you old school, sister, born in 1961. Hallelujah. Shout out to my 60 babies on there. Shout out to my 50 babies on there. Shout out to my 70 babies on there. Shout out to the 80s on here, the 90s, the Titus Taylors, the ups, the 2000s, and what they call it, generation what? I can't keep up with all these names. And what I tell my oldest daughter, I said, you 22. I said, if you could have grew up with us back then and see how cheap you could get a house back then and what they want for a deposit now, you could have done bought a house. Like my partner, he's 70. Let me see, he's 76 now. When he bought his 3-bedroom home, two-car garage back in the day, got that house for $7,000. Brick. When you could get a brick home back in the day, $7,000, and you still holding on to it, man, what a blessing. No house note, man, what a blessing. This day's time and this 2026, just to even rent, sky high down here in Dallas, Texas. But we all know what time it is. So love y'all, man. And Brother Earl, keep on pressing, brother. I'm just gonna start calling you Uncle Earl. What's crazy, Brother Earl, I got an Uncle Earl. His real name is Kenneth Earl. But you my other Uncle Earl on her, sir. And love you, man. We always so glad to have you on here, Uncle Earl. Every time we go lay down there so I can get ready to get up in the morning. But Mama Rose, I talked to Mama Rose. See, all of y'all is, let me see, Mama Yaya, all of y'all are 70 and up. That's why I tell Mama Yaya on the phone, I'm so glad that I'm honored to talk to my older generation, man. It's an honor. And she tell me the same thing. I'm just glad I feel special that you can take time out of your busy schedule. I said, oh, no, that's the other way around, man. That's the other way around. Hey, JT, you old as bacon grease. But you know what, Donald Zion, when I was little, I grew up hanging around older men. I did. And I always have to give hats off to the Clark family, which was the house that stayed on the corner of my grandmother's street. Because, see, like I tell my babies, I stayed outside all day. I can't relate to this standard house. We stayed outside. We played outside. I mean, we played them games. We made up games. We didn't want to go in the house. We loved being outside. But a part of me, I could hear that music way down the street. And I would always go to the band. I was a little bitty dude. That's why when Hollywood Swinger, when that song came on, I always wanted to get into the band so I can sing my song and be a bad piano playing man. That song to this day hits for me because I was too little to be in the band back then. I couldn't go where the band was going, but I always went to all the rehearsals pretty much. And that's what kept me out of trouble, being around them brothers back then who was older than me, about 20 years maybe. And that just kept, brother, we ain't gonna let you get caught up in these streets. I did have my moments where I was like, man, if I'm looking at what I'm looking at, it looked like the dope game is the way out. But hanging on to brothers like that, man, kept me out of trouble. Because all I want to do is play the piano, man, and play the drums and just have fun, man. So that's why I thank the Most High so much for music. Music, I would say the Most High saved my life, but music with the Most High, man, that's what saved me, man, because I can't say the same for a lot of people that died on these streets or a lot of musicians that the dope took them out. Whether it was the cocaine or shooting the needle up their arm, man, them drugs, like Daughter Zion say, it took so many musicians out. Here go the key. Most of them started out in the church. They started out in the church building. But you got to realize a whole lot of musicians was never born again. They was just musicians. And a lot of them died in them drugs. They died, the men that ran all them women, and they thought it was all about partying, man. I wish my old man to tell this story about, what happened with him. And when I looked at my old man and his generation and my uncles, his brothers, man, see, I come out of a family of gangsters, man, just to be honest. Preacher man got his leg blown off. That was my dad, his oldest brother. My Uncle Jerry, they all had, they was taking them drugs, man, going in and out of rehab, but faithful at church. You see what I'm saying? Faithful on that base. And me and Unc would have those conversations. I remember telling him one time, I said, man, I think he died in 2012. I said, you just ain't delivered. He'd get out that rehab, man. I would drop him off sometime to that Salvation Army or that men's shelter. He'd get out and do good a little bit, then be right back strung out. And he would say, I can beat it. I can beat it, nephew. Now, you can't beat it. And if you think you can beat it, it's going to show beat you, because you cannot beat these drugs. You have to have something in you, and you know what I'm talking about. The Holy Spirit is the only thing that can get you where it needs to get you in Christ. So on that note, family, I love y'all. Y'all continue to have a wonderful, wonderful, blessed day. And I'm praying for you. Keep praying for me. Sister V. Brown, thank you for the update with your husband. I know you was in tears, like you told me. For that man to wake up and see you and recognize you, oh, hallelujah. That's nothing but the Most High. That's why I'm praying for a full recovery. It ain't nothing too hard for the Most High. Sister V, family, we got you lifted up, Sister V. We touching and agreeing right now. We ain't going to stop praying. And thank you for sharing it with us, because that's good news to me. And you've been back and forth in and out that hospital, sleeping, your family there with you. Thank the Most High for your family. I'm praying for all y'all strength. And I'm just waiting when you say he ain't in there no more. Woo! Thank you, Holy Spirit. Do what you do. That's why I always say, go where the doctors can't go. Go where the doctors can't go and do what the doctors can't do. Because the Heavenly Father got you. And we thank the Most High for every information that we take it as a blessing. Like I told my wife, that right there, Brother Jay, it made me look at my wife in her eyes last night. I said, can you imagine? See, that's hard, man. That's tough. That's past hard. When you get only thing you can do is just look at your wife, Brother Jay. You can't move. You're in a coma stage. But you recognize my baby is right here. You can't talk. All you can do is just lay there. So I watched my nephew go through that. It was heartbreaking. I can't imagine watching that if that was me or if that was my wife. That's why when we talk about that, for better or for worse, or that suffering, you don't know what's going to hit your marriage. Daughter Zion been married 59 years, and she only looked 28. Y'all better catch that now. I'm messing with you now, Daughter Zion. I love you, sister. So, yeah. Y'all always continue to talk to each other, pray for each other, and try your best to don't go to bed mad at each other, man, because we just don't know, y'all. We just don't know. So, Sister V, we love you. Family, that's our prayer on this blessed night. I'm going to get ready to go in so I can get ready for work. But I love y'all. Thank you for that, Brother Jay. So as the song say, hold on. Change is coming. Problem is, a lot of us don't like to hold on. And when you hold on, you don't know how long what you're going through is gonna last. But you know you gotta hold on. Change is coming. Change is coming. Shalom, family.
You never win. You look around and all that can be found is hatred, fear, and doubt. Things aren't always what they seem, not black nor white, but in between. That's when God shows up and he shows out, no doubt. It makes you really, really want to shout, hold on. Yesterday, a man stepped up to me. He said, how can you smile when your world is crumbling down? I said, here's my secret. When I wanna cry, I take a look around and I see that I'm getting by, and I hold on, change is coming, hold on, oh, don't you worry about a thing, just hold on, you can make it, hold on, everything will be alright. Some people like to worry, some people like to hide. Some people like to run away from the pain inside. Now that's your business. I'll do whatever you want to do. Cause if it don't work out, no, here's what you ought to do. Just hold